Hello, this is Joshua Tolhurst, and this is my final piece presentation and showing off of the map I have created. Now, with the 11 to 12 weeks that I have spent on this map, I originally had the idea to build a sunset type of vibe in a Japanese aesthetic and really try and represent the Asian culture within my map, because I took inspiration from Call of Duty World at War. I've also taken inspiration from Google Maps and Google Images that I have compiled together and made sure that I stayed on the right track. As you can see, I have made interiors that have all been had BSPs put onto them, and also had static meshes, all unique from the other. If we go upstairs, we also have another one, again, different static meshes and different BSPs used. Little like cabinets here and a bed here. All these interiors are enterable as well. I made fences and made the grass. There's got the pavements, the lighting, which I very much am happy that during my post-production that was told to me, because it's very much helped with the aesthetic. We have the church that I really made sure to focus down on the lighting and made sure where the sun was, it would hit right, hence why we've got the windows shining through the sun, which I believe really adds to the fact that it's a church and it's a very spacious open place. We then have the centre of the map, which is believed to be the place that all players will meet up and have the most kills and most deaths. And I made sure to really make sure the Japanese part of it was really significant here, hence why I built a torii gate, which is very common in Japan, and especially in prefectures that haven't really left the Edo period yet and are not fully modern. I also forgot to mention that spawn point A is over here, and spawn point B will be at the other side of the map. I just quickly just get over there. Will be right at the end over here. I try my best to make it not symmetrical as the request, and so I built a little house here, and so you'll walk into here and you'll walk along. Another thing I wanted to do again was really look at what is very typical in Asia and Japan in specifics, and one of the things they have a lot of is 7-Elevens. Now, in future, I would love to make more signs and make it more like a store, but with the time constraints, I can only do so much. And if you look in here, I've really done my best to make it look like as much of a store as possible. Again, in the future, I'd like to put things in this store, make it maybe look a bit more dystopian, so it's a bit more, so bottles are smashed, there's boxes of cereal around, and I think it looks really good. We also have them bits over here, like a storage bit, which, again, in the future, I'd like to add more stuff to it. I think it really does, the lighting really complements it. Again, we have another house, which, to hold back the player from going upstairs, I've put a lot of broken sofas, or like sofas that are on the stairs, to represent that it's a bit more dystopian, a bit more broken. I feel like it's really captured what I was going for. And then lastly, we have the little like workshop area, which again, like the rest of the times I was saying, I'd like to do more with this in the future. But for now, I think it does really take what I could give to make it as best as possible with the time constraints I had. All in all, I do believe that in the time constraints I've had, the hours I've spent are worthy to the hours required. And I also do believe that the map I have made is to a high standard, and to a standard that I'm very proud of. I came into many problems throughout, like meshes not working and BSPs not applying the way they should be. However, I do believe I've overcome these struggles, and in fact, through these struggles, have learned a lot about how to make a good level and how to be myself more of a better creator and game designer. And I'm very grateful for the opportunity to do this project, and I think through this, my first ever project of design a map has taught me a lot of lessons, and in the future, when I go into future projects, whether it's by myself or with a team, I will be very confident, and I'll have a lot more experience than if I didn't do this. Thank you very much, and I hope you have a good day. Some basic stuff, but eventually I'm going to flesh out a lot more, very much focusing on the Asian culture. Now, if we move on to my actual project design, I have blocked out the map, as this will be where spawn point B will be, and if we take a look over here, we can see over in this direction, this will be where spawn point A is. And my main design here was to make it as tight as possible, make it feel open. And if you saw my sketch map, my first sketch map of the bird's eye view, I actually had closed walls. However, I wanted the map to feel a bit more free, but also keeping that tight aspect that really makes the housing situation within Tokyo very prominent. So I've actually reduced how big the walls are. I didn't do that one, sorry, but I'm actually going to make these walls here fences, so it feels much more like a home-like area. And if we keep going along here, this like the street's very open. I do know this because we're actually going to make it a two-way street. We're going to have a white line here to make sure the road looks like a road. And it's going to be very much like there's a lot of places you can hide and you can jump up and shoot the enemy, making it very much like it's a closed street. Now, if we enter the main bit of the arena, you will see there is a torii gate here and a whole centerpiece that really encapsulates the Edo period of Japan, the 1800s, where samurais would exist and all that. And I wanted to make sure to really hit home with the Asian culture. So I made sure a torii gate, and it also made the map different levels in height depending on what side of the map you are, and different advantages based on what part of the map. In the future, obviously, I wanted to texture this, and I also want to include more blocks and stuff that are also texture designed, so we can actually have more cover here. So if enemy team B or A come this route and there's some up by the torii gate, they have places to move and cover. Another aspect I want to check out is these houses. A lot of these houses will also be open, including this house over here, and also a lot of the houses over in the northern point by spawn A. I really want to make sure with the texture palette specifically, we are going to have a lot of cream colors, a lot of red colors, a lot of browns as well to replicate fences, and a lot of natural life. And I also really want to signify this area as the most colorful area, so it draws the most people. That is all for my overview today. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much. Hi there, this is Joshua Tolhurst, and this is my overview for my production piece in Project 304. Now, this production piece has taken me roughly 5 to 6 weeks to complete from pre-production. And during pre-production, all I had was pre-blockouts and walls that was a rough outline of the limitation area for the map. And since then, we have developed it quite a lot, from making unenterable houses with a lot of text and static meshes on each one, and also making fences to act as if they are blocked off because it's part of the community. I have also made a lot of different houses, all different sizes and shapes, customizing the windows and the roofs and everything in it. Along with this, I have also used BSP brushes to make an interior design, making sofas and kitchen tops and tables, with also adding static meshes into those. And along with that, I've also made lighting, so it lights up the room with an aesthetic. And as you saw, I've also added a previous blue map that we used in a previous project called Good Sky to change the sky and make it sunset, so it appeals to the atmosphere that we're going for, which is a 6v6 or 12v12 map in Japan, and that it's all quarantined off. The next thing I want to show you is the difference with the church. The church, I really worked hard with the aesthetic. I wanted to make sure it was open and free and felt very spacious, how usually churches do. And as you can see, we've got the lights shining in from the windows and the lights shine down. It's also very wooden, again like a church, and with the surrounding stone, again like a classic church. And I took that inspiration from actually my home country of Wales, and also country prefectures in Japan have the same design as ones in the UK and Wales do. Another thing that I made sure to really home in on the atmosphere and the theme of Asia and Japan is making a torii gates, which are very notorious, especially in the Edo period of Japan, where they are very much prominent. I have made sure to include aesthetic with the bushes that are fine cut, so they look fitting for the atmosphere. If I can improve all this again, I would say I would like to make more different types of houses that have different roofs, different buildings, maybe a few more enterable areas, and from there, make more interior designs that are different, because as of right now, a lot of them do look the same due to time constraints. However, we've also got two spawn points. We've got spawn point A, which is that corner over there, and then a secondary spawn point, which will be for the other team, will be in these group of houses over here, right next to this house, which has also been completely added with static meshes and BSP brushes throughout, with making an interior as well that's all lit up completely. Another thing I wanted to show you was the use of looking into Japanese culture and knowing how many 7-Elevens there are, and I wanted to try and make my own, which in post-production I'm going to be adding a sign to really make sure it stands out properly. But if we look in here, we've got plenty of lights and plenty of aisles to really represent a 7-Eleven, which again in post-production I hope to add some objects into. I do believe if I can improve on this in the future, I would like to include more stuff. I'd like to include more interior designs. I like to mix up the interior designs and make more different things, like maybe a TV, maybe a lamp, maybe different types of beds. I'd love to make the aesthetic a lot more like Japan, because I feel like I did fail on really capturing the Japanese lifestyle a bit here. However, I do believe I have captured the basics of the Japanese culture and the Asian culture. So I think for this production, with all the houses and textures and static meshes and the BSP brushes I've added, I have done a good enough job that I am satisfied and proud of what I've created. And hopefully during post-production, I'll be able to add pavements and maybe a car or two, some bins, a few signs, and really flesh out to make it feel like it's really lived in. Thank you very much for listening, and hope you have a good day. Hello, this is Joshua Tolhurst. This is my post-production for Project 304. So, during my production, I completed a lot of the work. However, I went to a few friends and a few associates that I work with within my game design course, and he came back to me with a few critiques that I could work on and a few things I could add to my level that would improve its liveliness and also improve how it looks, from its lighting to its game design to its art and just overall aesthetic, for especially what I'm looking for. And the two main ones that I found was lighting and also the pavements. So I decided to do two things that were very clever. The first thing I decided to do was make a pavement that isn't just for just these sidewalks, but for pretty much the whole map. I used BSP brushes, and I also used static meshes that I found either on textures.com or via Google Images, and I've put them into Unreal Engine 4, and I've textured them onto the BSP brushes, as you can see right here. The second thing I did was I again used BSP brushes and static meshes that I found on textures.com or Google Images to make a lamppost that isn't exactly high render or high texture, but you can very, very much visibly tell that it is the lamp post. And what I also did then was I stuck lights on each one of these lampposts so they could look like lampposts that have turned on, and really make sure the aesthetic sets in that it's summer in Japan, it's a hot summer's day, but it feels like it's ending and there's some sort of ghost town vibe about it. And originally, back when I was designing the pre-production into my sketch, I was going to add cars. And I realized during the post-production that when I was going to add cars, it would take away the ghostly town feel that I want my level to have. I want my level to feel like it's a ghost town where these people will come in and they will fight to the death, but everyone's evacuated. So there's no cars, there's no bins, there's nothing. So because it's a waste town, it's literally been bare bones because everyone evacuated as quick as possible. With the lights at the end, they have very much benefited greatly because they have changed the aesthetic of the whole map as a whole. It looks a lot better now. It looks genuinely like it's lived in, like it's full and it's alive. And that's the whole goal I was trying to reach. I'm very, very grateful for the feedback I was given from my peers and also from my friends, because I think having a third person's opinion really has made sure that my level is everything I could make it to be. So that has made my life a lot easier, and also it's given me the chance to improve at a level in a way that I wouldn't have originally thought. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed, and have a good day.